Guys, so I'm going to show you how to save a ton of money when you're dealing with these float switches. Okay, we all know if you have a truck mount, especially a Sapphire, these float switches go bad. This is one I took apart. I'm going to show you what I did, but a lot of times you won't hear the click anymore, or one of these breaks and it ends up getting caught underneath. If it's something like that, then replace the whole thing. But what I'm going to show you is going to be super easy. So there are 4 screws around here. You want to take those apart, and then there's a rubber stopper, and this, you want to unscrew this, pull the rubber stopper off gently, and then you want to take this. I already have this disassembled so you guys can see, but you want to take this apart. Okay, a lot of times these will just be unhooked because either the cord got tugged on or whatever, and they'll just be unhooked. So make sure those are all hooked up. If those are all hooked up, go ahead and disconnect those. And again, I had this taken apart so I could show you guys. Okay, and you'll see inside here is this little switch. Okay, if your wires are all hooked up correctly, and you move this up and down, you'll know that there's no clicking happening. Okay, when there's no clicking happening, a lot of times it means the switch is worn out or went bad. Like this one here, I'm going to take this out of here. Now it's very hard to get these 2 little screws out, so I use this little micro screwdriver. But essentially, if you guys have a regular screwdriver or interchangeable tip, use a real fine small one, and obviously reach it, take it off. So once you take those 2 screws off, there's one here and one here, and then go ahead and pull this out. Okay, you're going to see this is the switch. Okay, this arm right here, you need this arm, and the easiest way to do that is you're going to take this apart. There's actually a little nut on this side, but I've already disassembled this so I can make this video short. You're going to take that screw out, and then this screw here, you're going to take it out also. Okay, and what that'll do is this little micro switch is what goes bad. It's not usually this piece. This is off my automatic pump out, but this piece, this one actually went bad because a part broke on it, and it broke down here evidently, and it keeps it from getting caught underneath the water, and it allows it to only go floating up so it doesn't get stuck pushing the switch the wrong direction. Alright, so if it's not this, then it's this little micro switch. This is the little micro switch here. Okay, V7-1C 17D8-048. I'm going to put a link to Amazon. Amazon sells these. Now you're going to find that the switches do not look like this. Don't have this magnet on here. Okay, that's pretty easy. Okay, these are really easy to take apart. Literally, it's just pressed on there. So there's a little slot underneath here. Just pop it off. Actually, it already came out. But just pop that cover off. Here's your switch. Here's the actual button. This is what does the work. Okay, and what happens is it's not the switch itself, it's a little spring in there wears out because it's bobbing up and down in the tank the whole time, and it doesn't return all the way. Okay? But all this just goes in this spot right here, and you do the reverse. When you get a new switch, it's going to look like this. There's not going to be anything on there. There might be a little lever on there, but all I did was put the screwdriver right here in this one, pop this top off. Okay, really easy. You're not going to damage the switch at all. Take the lever out that was supplied with it, which should be a short one. Take that one out, and then the one that you have with the old switch, put in here. Put this all back together. And you're going to put, they have a little white card spacer, which I just dropped. They have a little white card spacer in here. I'm going to get it. You're going to get your switch. Okay, and this is how it's going to look. It's going to look like this. And these holes will line up with the card, as you can see here. And those holes line up with those two holes. And what you're going to do from there is, you're seeing here, the magnet only fits in one side, one way. So you're going to put it back together. And once you get those two screws put back together, this one here and the one on the other side that I already taken out, you should be able to move this up and down and have it work. Okay, now this switch is junk, which is just, I'm showing you what's going on here. I'm going to tighten those two screws back down. Then you want to go ahead and actuate your switch to make sure it's clicking on and off. And then you want to take your wires and hook them back up in the order that you took them off, which is the order that you see here. The white goes onto the side one here, and then they go in order. Green and then black. White, green, black. Then once you get that together, you want to put the cover back on. Now, the cover, if you mess up the orientation on the cover, that can be problematic. Okay, and I'm gonna show you why. On the top of this, it'll have an arrow. I already goofed it up, taking this one out because this was a real pain in the butt. But the arrow is actually supposed to point towards the top. So when this is at a resting position, when it comes up, it'll click on and off. Yeah, that's down. This is the way it's broken. When this comes up, it'll click. You want the label to actually be up. It'll have an arrow pointing. Let's see if I can find it. It'll have an arrow. There it is, pointing to the top. You want to make sure that when this comes up, you hear it click, comes on. It won't come on until it's just about the top. Click comes on. You make sure the arrow's at the top. Put your 4 screws back in. And they're just simple little screws. Put them back through, tighten them up. And then you have a rebuilt switch. Now you want to take your rubber stopper, put it back together. And you also want to put this back on. That makes it waterproof like it was when it was brand new. But I'm going to do a better video here shortly, but this is just an easy way for you guys to save a ton of money on these little micro switches. You can buy 5 of these for 15 bucks on Amazon, I believe. And why not save some money, guys? Yeah, save some money. Because a lot of times they want you to send these back because they're changing this little cheap switch, but they're charging you, could be $30 for one of these, 30, 40, whatever. But they're charging you money for these, and they're changing the switch out for 5 bucks, cleaning that one up, and they might be reselling them. But why not just fix your own and not have to buy any more and just keep the switches? Because these switches, granted they're small, but they are going to wear out, because what's going to happen is that as this bounces up and down in there, you hit a bump or whatever, it's just constantly moving the switch and it wears out. Alright guys, I hope that helps you, for those of you that understand what I was talking about. And some of your truck mounts, guys, are not going to have this style of shutoff, but both of my machines have these for the automatic pump outs and for the waste tank full. So just be careful and watch for these little switches going bad. And I'm going to put a link in the description to Amazon where you can buy these. Okay. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Have a good night.